Yes. It's steel.
But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Keeping it real.
Welcome back. My name is Steven, and this is Steel Keeping It Real. So today I'm going to do a music video by the Jonzun crew. Now, the Jonzun crew were pretty big back in the early to mid 80s because they had, sort of electro hip hop type of sound to them, bringing it from the Parliament Funkadelic of when they were doing all their Mother Starship and stuff like that, and they just kind of revamped it or rebooted it, and it ended up turning into electro hip hop. Now, the Jonzun crew were Michael, Larry, and Sonny. Now, Sonny, they were born in Florida, but they moved to Boston, Massachusetts, and that's where they were out of from then on. Now, you think to yourself, well, what else is in Boston as far as music groups are concerned, or who are the biggest people out of Boston? And I'll answer that question, but I'll tell you this first. Larry Jonzun had a stage name, and his stage name was Maurice Starr. Now, try to answer that question, and you're going to get New Edition, and you're going to get New Kids on the Block, and he is the one that discovered them both. New Edition at a talent contest, and then Maurice was thinking, like, you know what? I know New Edition would be a lot bigger if they were white. And in 1984, that's when he created New Kids on the Block, and then by the end of the 80s, New Kids on the Block were the highest selling group of that era. So, now the song I'm going to do is Space Cowboy. Now, Space Cowboy came out in 1982, and the highest it reached on the U.S. R&B charts was number 12. Now, there was another song that a lot of people might recognize, and that's called Pac Jam. And Pac Jam came out on the same album, and it ranked number 13 on the U.S. R&B charts. So that makes Space Cowboy their biggest selling hit, or their biggest charting hit that they ever had. Now, I know the song very well, and I am going to be totally honest. I tried to do a review of this before, and I realized after I had started to edit that I had turned on my microphone. So, as I am doing now, but even worse, I was talking to myself, and then playback, there's not me, and there's nothing to mix if there's, no microphone. So, this will be a second-hand reaction. I'm pretty much going to say the same thing, because this video, well, we'll talk about that afterwards. So, without further ado, here is the Jonzun crew with Space Cowboy.
And here we go.
Howdy! Space Cowboy! Space Cowboy!
This is cheesy as F.
Space Cowboy! He's bad. Space Cowboy! He's mean. Once upon a time, there used to be a space cowboy on this galaxy. He had two laser guns with beams like the
I will say something that is early, and that's the DJ having his face covered up or barely able to see it, which is like a precursor to things like Marshmallow and Dead Mouse or DJs from Mars. Got too much funkiness.
Say yippee-yah, 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 yay. Yippee-yah, 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 yay. Say howdy, hey, hey. Howdy, hey, hey. Say yippee-yah, 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 yay. Yippee-yah, 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 yay. Say howdy, hey, hey. Howdy, hey, hey. Say Jonzun crew. Jonzun crew. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Everybody say Jonzun crew. Jonzun crew. Rockin' the house for you. Rockin' the house for you. The scene between Venus and Mars, riding a comet and lassoing stars. He always brought us excitement and joy. Our outer space hero, the space cowboy. Space cowboy.
So that was Space Cowboy by the Jonzun Crew. As you can see, it was a pretty cheesy video. It looked like they might have spent maybe $300 or $400 on it, and most of that was on getting the costumes and hiring the dancers that are in there. There's probably a good reason why nobody ever saw this, because I think if they had, they'd be like turned off. But if you can suspend disbelief and act like you've never seen it, and then hear this song, it's a great song, or it was at the time. I still like it because I did get into all that electro hip hop that was forming in the early to mid 80s, because you had African Bambaataa, you had Planet Patrol, you had Twilight 22, you had the Egyptian Lover, Mantronics, just to name a few. Now, I will be doing Mantronics, of course, on this channel, because I love me some Mantronics. The only issue is that there's really not a lot of Mantronic songs that have lyrics. They're just one of those groups that make music to get you out on the dance floor, and that's what it definitely did. Now, again, this came out in 1982, and I was living in the UK in 1982. So these groups, these electro hip hop groups, were very popular around the time, and I remember like Planet Rock was the football team that I was playing on, I believe in 83, possibly 82. It was our team song, the one that got us pumped up on the buses on our long travels to another base to play football. It wasn't high school, it was like junior high football, or junior varsity, you might call it. But later on, all the other stuff came out, and I just started to, well, I started to evolve how I danced. I mean, I did disco back in the late 70s, and actually won a disco contest with my girlfriend at the time. Her name was Becky Kennedy. If you're out there, I've been looking for you, and I'd love to hear from you, because if you reach out to me, you would be the oldest friend that I have contact with. So that's roughly it for this video. I will be having another one following this up, so you'll see the same shirt. If you like the shirt, say something about the shirt. If you like the video, say something about the video. Like, subscribe, and peace.